Yeah.
That's the problem with them in general.
It says we're live.
A little too sweet.
Hey,
All right, so
We're live.
this is Southeastern Connecticut Pipe Club. Where's the camera?
it's in
The green dot.
yeah,
the green
logo's
dot.
there.
And we're talking about various things today
Put this down, maybe.
on November 9th, 2018. We are talking about gun ownership and all the fun and value that brings to our lives. I don't own a gun because I've spoken to these gentlemen. This is Cody. Well, maybe we should come up with fake names so that the government doesn't take us away.
That's a good idea.
This is
not Cody.
his name is not Cody.
not Cody.
Not
over here.
Cody. This is
Reginald.
Reginald. I'm Mr. Sanders. Mr. Saunders. Mr. Saunders. And this is he who shall not be named. And tonight we talk about gun ownership. I mean,
Don't give it a silly name. We're just talking about
we're talking about gun ownership.
Yeah.
Please don't arrest us.
It's still legal.
So far. So I asked the
Oh, yeah.
question, why do you own guns? And Cody or Mr.
Cody.
X,
You want me
not
to go
Cody, was
first?
going to
Sure.
Okay.
answer.
So yeah, actually, so we live in what state?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Now we're
The
gonna get
communist
our
state.
out.
The state of
So actually, the first time I started getting involved with firearms was back just shortly after Sandy Hook,
really.
which is
That's
really,
ironic.
I know. So before that, I had zero interest in firearms at all, and so one of the reasons I chose to sort of educate myself about it was because I didn't know anything about guns. So after Sandy Hook happened, rather than sort of just going along with everybody else and sort of being afraid of guns and sort of fear mongering and
Yeah. Take all the guns
jumping on that
away.
bandwagon, I basically wanted to teach myself all about firearms, know about the Second Amendment, and so what I decided to do, and actually at the time my dad asked me if I wanted to go through the process of getting a pistol permit, and so he was basically sort of for a birthday present. He was going to pay for my NRA pistol safety course.
How much does that cost?
It's like $100 or something.
Yeah, usually to get a permit, all in all, it'll be $250. I think it ends up being something like that.
Yeah. So the class is like I think 100.
Yeah.
And is that required in the state of Connecticut?
It is
to own a
required.
gun?
Yeah.
$250.
Well, that's after all.
There's several.
Yeah,
form
that's
you
like
have
for
to
the
submit.
license. Like I just got my renewal form in the mail, and that's $70.
So
but it's for 5
interesting.
years.
So the people so someone who isn't able to afford $250 is not able to defend themselves. if
Yep.
they need to.
You
That's
can put
right.
it that way. You can put it that way.
In the state of Connecticut, that's run by people who claim to be for the people and want to be the working man's people, the working man's politician. You're not able to defend yourself unless you can cough up the 250 clams.
Yeah. So honestly, one of the first things that I actually have right up here is my NRA gun safety. So actually, the suggested resale value on this is $20, but they give you this as part of your NRA class. And
And
it's
I've got two. If anybody wants one, I can spare one.
but that is
Wait,
yeah, it's
let's talk about this picture here.
It's-
I know
yeah,
it's ridiculous.
yeah.
Don't
Anyway,
worry about
it's
that.
a
Oh, like this guy. He's
Yeah,
like
he's
30
serious.
here.
it's an entire manual basically on not just how firearms operate, but how to handle them safely.
Yeah.
And how to be responsible with firearms. Some of the basic NRA safety rules, I think number one is probably not mixing guns with beer
Alcohol.
or alcohol.
Yeah, right. So as
Yeah.
I'm not
so
carrying
no guns
we-
in
We
No
are
guns.
we are not going to go out later and to Cody's backyard and shoot off any guns.
No, because that would be irresponsible.
That would be
Yeah.
irresponsible,
Would
boys and girls. Let's not do that.
But there are a number of other ones, like keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to
Yep.
shoot.
Yeah.
So you always see people like this.
Always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. But there are all these like
common sense sort of thing.
But anyway, when I took my NRA pistol safety course, what I kind of like just walking in the room, the first thing I kind of got the impression of was people who like own guns are actually like really responsible. That's in
You have to be.
Really responsible.
You really have to be.
Yeah. So I mean, I've tried to, obviously always abide by the rules and be a responsible and safe gun owner.
Where is your gun right now?
Right now,
and how many guns do you own?
I have 2 guns, but what's funny is that they're really small caliber. So I mean, like I'm not like a super like kind of a gun person.
Yeah.
The pistol that I own is in a electronic finger safe that pops open. So it's got like a 4-digit key on the top. So I go do, and then it pops open. So
could your eldest child access that weapon?
It's got an 8 key combination lock, so he'd have to guess it just right, which is probably impossible.
Mathematically impossible.
It would take him. We could work it out. It would take him several days.
Yeah, 8 times 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are
power
computer smart people who know all about math, and they're trying to figure out the algorithm
2028
for
24.
his oldest child to open up a gun safe.
Yeah.
And that's assuming that he does it entirely methodically, completely in order, knows exactly where he is.
So there's a point at which
not gonna happen.
Probability becomes impossibility.
Yeah, but the point is just it's in a safe spot.
It's in a safe spot.
Yeah. But that one is for like home defense. I mean, it's just a 22, so it's probably not like the best home defense weapon anyway. But it's got hella points in it. Watch out.
Hella points. So when you commies come and try to mess with not Cody's house.
The other one is just it's the first rifle my dad bought me, it was a fun rifle he bought that has a really nice scope on it, but it's a .17 caliber varmint rifle, like for shooting
squirrels and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So that one it's got a what they call a what is it called? The it's a lock that goes through the
like a
chamber lock or no, not just the trigger, but
through the actual through the action.
Yeah, the action. Yes. Whatever.
And are these safety mechanisms required by the state of Communist Connecticut?
It's one of the NRA safety guys that always keep it sort of in a safe location.
Right. So it's up to the owner what safe means, but you're meant to keep it inaccessible to anybody who shouldn't have it, which according to the letter of the law is anybody under 16, which for us is our children.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you have firearms for the safety of your house.
That's one reason.
And is this other weapon sounds like you have a rifle that sounds like is it not really hunting?
They're both really hobby rifle. They're both really hobby firearms.
But you're not going to take down like a 4-point buck or.
No, they're not for hunting.
Yeah.
Large, like small. What is that? Medium game? I don't know.
I guess that's medium. I'm not sure. I'm not a hunter either.
I've never shot a squirrel. I've never gone hunting with my rifle.
Have you?
I shot at the range. That's really all I shoot it at.
Okay. Are you a member at a?
I'm not a member, but my mom is, and my neighbor is, and I have friends who are. So I get up.
Where's the nearest range?
There's one in down the road.
Close to your house.
15 minutes away.
So when the commie apocalypse happens, you don't want to tell them where you live.
That's it. Now we're off YouTube. Can't use that word, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Commie apocalypse?
Yep, there it is. Is this one mine?
Yes.
That one's
yours. That's mine. Okay. So why do you, in a sentence or two, why do you opt to have firearms?
Well, like I said, I got into it when Sandy Hook happened. It was mostly just about interest in making sure I was educating myself. I wanted to have a proper respect for firearms rather than an irrational fear of them. And then it just sort of became a hobby. And so I'm like I am a kind of a Second Amendment guy. I don't have a lot of guns, obviously. and I don't have really large caliber guns either, so I don't have anything really to brag about.
Right.
They're mostly just for fun, but then also for self defense. Yeah.
So in private conversations, you have mentioned concerns that people have had. Concerns that you have had
Thanks.
with respect to gun control laws, gun restrictions.
Yeah.
And you intimated to me that probably, no, I'm going to make a statement. Tell me whether you agree with this statement or not.
Sure.
That the gun control laws in the state of Connecticut, at least as far as you know, are restrictive enough.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
I think so.
Can you elucidate on that?
Well,
For the sake of our viewing audience.
sure, yeah. The state of Connecticut has an assault weapons ban.
What does that mean, as far as you know?
Who knows? Well, I
Is
know
it
because I know what
defined?
this-
Is it defined?
It is.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
So they say, "Thou shalt not have an assault weapon."
Yeah.
Footnote: an assault
This
weapon
what an assault
is
weapon yeah.
what?
So there's I believe 5 aesthetic characteristics that if your firearm has more than 2 of them, I believe, it's classified as an assault weapon. This is like a vertical forward grip.
What does that mean?
That
So
means
instead
like
of holding a
like
rifle
little
like
handle
this,
in
Yeah,
the front
hold it like
of
this.
the rifle.
You're
So-
both go.
So like if you got a gun that you can go like this with,
Yeah, instead of like holding it
that counts
like
as
this on the
yeah.
barrel.
Now, is there a difference in the amount of rounds?
Yes, that's another thing. but,
yeah. There's a magazine limit
yeah.
as well. That's in
So
addition to
a
any
pistol.
gun in Connecticut
A
can have
handgun.
more than 10 rounds than a 10-round
Magazine.
magazine.
They can have more than
Cannot have.
They cannot.
Yeah. So if you have like a 15
So
round
even-
magazine, which I think
Wait.
rocks or
Yeah, a lot of
So
Glocks are
there are a
15.
bunch of
So
pistols
even an assault rifle in the state of Connecticut cannot have more than 10 rounds.
Right.
An
So suffice
assault
to
rifle.
say, you're not
Any
going
gun.
to make an assault
Any
on
gun.
any type of fortified position.
a
it's
10,
not really-
10 round assault rifle sounds like an
Can
oxymoron. to
a
me.
revolver can probably hold more than 10 rounds.
Well, it's my
I
understanding.
don't know of any that do.
All right.
Yeah.
Even 22.
All right,
Yeah.
let's
10
listen.
I think is the most.
in my very limited understanding of firearms I get from movies. So
So you don't know.
I don't know much. In the classic movie Lethal Weapon,
Yes. Which one?
the first one.
Okay.
We are told that Martin Riggs 9mm Beretta has 15 rounds in the clip and one in the
in the
pipe,
chamber.
in
Yeah.
the chamber. That would be illegal in the state of Connecticut.
That would
That's
be-
a pistol.
Yeah.
That's in some states, I guess, a state issued firearm for our police force.
Yeah, it's
Which
basically
they
what the
might have
military carries for their
So they
sidearms.
probably have an exception. Stop
Shut
talking,
up,
Siri.
Peter.
All right.
Can you turn her off? She's annoying.
I have a bunch of iPads here. I can't turn them off.
Anyway, so what you're trying to tell me is that in the state of Connecticut, the 9mm Beretta that Sergeant Martin Riggs had as a state issued, police issued weapon, which I think is not unusual
No, it's
for
pretty common.
police.
Yeah.
They have a 9mm of some kind. That is not allowed
Not for civilian carry.
for civilians. You can't have more
Law
than
enforcement
10
probably
10
has like an
bullets.
exception.
Yeah, I don't know if
Hmm.
they have an exception for personal use or not. If it's just on duty. or
Yeah,
not.
which is just silly. Like so.
So the government can have a weapon. We're not making this up right now.
No,
The
it's-
government can have a weapon that can have more than 10 rounds, but you, Joe, citizen taxpayer, can't defend your household
Yeah, or like
with
in
more than 10 bullets.
I don't know, even neighboring states they don't have magazine limits, don't they?
Massachusetts does. New
Rhode
York.
Island?
So you're trying to
not
tell me,
sure.
you're
Rhode
trying to
Island,
tell
I
me,
don't think does.
as far as you know, an ordinary citizen like you and I cannot have a firearm that exceeds 10 rounds, 10
Yeah,
bullets.
unless they were grandfathered in and they have to be declared, right?
As far as I know, yeah.
Wow.
So if you had a magazine that was larger, you just have to register it if it was before the ban.
Which was when?
I was from the understanding. Okay,
Yeah, so 2014. Is that?
So the problem that I see here is that it's a problem of understanding probabilities, because that psychopath who, thank God, killed himself at Sandy Hook. Yes, because
Yeah,
yeah,
it's been a long time.
it's so improbable that something like these guys, that ordinary law-abiding citizens would own a firearm and go into an elementary school. It's just not going to happen.
Where'd my tobacco go?
I don't know, man. What'd you do with it?
It was in a jar.
Is it in this jar?
No.
This was my bourbon jar. So in order to prevent something
there it is.
that is so, it's right there. It's right there.
Yeah, there it is.
That is so improbable, although tragic. And these gentlemen, who are law-abiding citizens who want to protect their homestead against the evils of this world, they can only have 10 rounds. And yet the psychopaths can go and get several guns if they want to, and because they don't care about the law, and they can go and do whatever they want with it. And so the law is not preventing that from happening. I mean, it tries to prevent that from happening, assuming that people will obey the law. But the problem is that criminals don't obey the law. Whereas these guys obey the law, but they can't have more than 10 rounds per gun.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. We got lots of magazines.
So you have several. You got several guns.
I shoot revolvers.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's talk about Abe. What's your arsenal like?
All right. So I've got I have a 22 target pistol, similar to yours, but it's the Ruger Mark III.
Is that just for fun?
Yeah, that's just.
Is that a
for
full
target shooting.
size?
Yeah, so that's the one where the grip angle and the measurements are the same as a 1911.
Oh, nice.
So that's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a fun little gun, but it's not a carry gun at all or anything like that. It's just for shooting at tin cans.
Yeah.
Not even squirrels.
Do you guys have concealed and carry permits?
Yes. So in Connecticut, you only have
a concealed carry.
In Connecticut, you have to have a pistol permit in order to buy any ammunition.
Well, you can get a certificate on ammunition.
Right,
certificate.
you could get that. Yeah.
But the pistol permit is concealed carry.
And what's interesting about Connecticut is it's just a carry permit, and it's illegal to carry concealed or open.
Yeah.
So
see, these are all terms that I'm sort of
like. You don't have to go through an extra level to get a concealed carry.
And there's different laws from state to state.
Why?
This is what I was told during my NRA pistol safety courses. If you walk around Connecticut with a pistol
on your hip,
revealed, you're gonna freak a bunch of people out.
Right.
Whereas in Texas or I don't know wherever, they wouldn't think twice. Because so many people do it.
Forgive my ignorance. Are you able to walk around anywhere that you want in this state with a gun on your hip?
There are
If you have
restrictions.
a pistol permit.
Yeah,
with
a permit, you can carry anywhere. You can carry on any of your property, any public open spaces. You cannot carry inside of buildings owned by the state. You can carry on property owned by the state, but not inside a building. You cannot carry on any federal property.
And the tribal lands either. They always want you to.
Man, that's more than I knew. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I don't carry my pistol around on me, but
and then any business or I suppose private residence that posts that weapons are not allowed inside.
Yeah,
you can't.
That's a legal obligation.
And are all schools? I mean, those are
schools,
all.
They're all. Aren't they all?
So even
no
gun zone. Even the properties of schools.
Yeah, property of schools.
So if you're a student, if you're a female, young, student.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, this includes
Where
university.
these
That's
shootings
ridiculous.
happen, by the way, you're not allowed to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Really? That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's I mean, I really try to believe that legislation like this happens with the best interests, but it really just is
Well,
not
it's the best-
effective.
It's the best interest of people who are ignorant,
Right, exactly.
people who don't
exactly.
possibly,
Which is
even
the same
know
as
what
anything. You know,
gun
legislating
laws are.
legislating technology is the same similar problems where people making laws really don't know what they're doing in many cases, and we see that with the FCC things that have been going on. So
So how many weapons? How many?
right, so I've got the Target 22 pistol,
Yeah.
and I've got a 12 gauge shotgun. That's for it's for defending my home. It's not.
Yeah.
It's,
That'd be a better.
Yeah.
That would scare the
yeah.
Like Jesus,
and that's,
anyone.
that's meant to be like you're not messing around. That's not a gun for fun.
That's like goodbye.
And so there's that, and then I have a 38 special 5-shot revolver like you see in the old detective movies, which is still, I think, just about the best carry gun you can have.
What is it?
It's a Smith & Wesson 442, so it's the J frame. It's just like you'd see in the old detective movies when they pull something out of their pocket.
Oh, okay.
So that is an excellent gun.
And why do you?
Fantastic.
So how many guns? Is that 3 guns?
That's the 3, yeah.
And how many do you have?
2.
2 guns. And why do you? So it sounds like to me that you own weapons. You own these guns to defend your homes.
Yes.
Okay. Why do you feel like you need to defend your homes?
I am not someone who enjoys violence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even enjoy heated arguments.
Honestly,
I avoid them with whatever I can do to get out of those situations.
honestly, to me, it's surprising to me that to hear that you own a gun,
Okay. I guess
because
that's
you
good.
seem like a very quiet person.
Well, yeah, it has nothing to do with temperament. I mean,
Yeah.
So the reason that I own firearms and when it's appropriate carry firearms is because while I don't like violence, I can answer the question: is there a time when you can imagine that it would be appropriate to kill someone?
Mm.
And I believe that there is sometimes a yes answer to that.
No, this is a important philosophical question.
It is.
Okay, so when is it important? When is it necessary? When is it permissible?
So I've thought a
to
lot
kill
about
somebody.
this, and
And what are the chances that this will actually happen?
probably
What are the
very,
probabilities?
very close to zero.
Very close to
Very close to zero.
But there's that 1 in a million chance.
Mhm.
And by God, what if you're that million?
So I got my pistol permit before I had kids,
Wow.
just because
When was this? Years.
I was 20. I think I just turned 22, so pretty much as young as I could have gotten it.
How old are you now?
30.
Okay.
And so at that time I got a permit just because I didn't plan on
Your
collecting.
kids are a couple years old.
The oldest is 6. Yeah.
Okay. So 2 years before you had your oldest.
Yeah.
Were you married?
Not yet.
Okay.
So
Have you met your wife?
I had I had met her very shortly after that. Yeah.
Okay. So before, were you thinking about starting a family?
I knew I was in the future
Okay.
at some point. Yeah.
Something you wanted to
Didn't
do.
have definite plans of it.
And then something popped in your mind. You said, I should have guns.
Yeah. So at that time, I got a permit because I didn't plan on owning guns. Maybe just one, but I really just wanted it just so that it was an option that was open to me. Just because for a similar reason why I got a motorcycle license, because then I can ride a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like
Because,
things I can do.
freedom.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh. So, and, you know, guns in a technical sense are interesting. And, you know, as a thing to use and look at and explore, very interesting. Just from a mechanical standpoint, from a historical standpoint.
Like hobby. Like a hobby.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're a hobby.
Even if you never shot a gun, they're very
You're
cool.
a hobbyist.
Very cool, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I originally got a permit.
Yeah.
And then when I had kids, then I started realizing, like, wow, I have a serious responsibility to take care of these few people. And that's when I realized that there is an answer. Sometimes the answer is yes to the question, should I ever kill someone?
Yeah. Well,
when I was not married and had my permit, I thought about this for a long time. I said, you know, I thought about, would I ever actually use this gun to harm someone? And when you use a gun on someone, you're intending to kill them because it's lethal force.
Yeah.
You don't intend to.
You don't draw your gun.
Shoot them in the knee. You don't do that.
No.
So, I thought about it, and I came to the conclusion that no, I would not pull this gun out to save myself from someone else. And I still feel that way, with a caveat. I would be very hesitant to defend myself if I were alone. I don't know if I would actually kill someone if I were alone and they were threatening me with lethal force. If I were protecting my family, absolutely I would. And there's
now, if you're alone, though, even if you're alone,
I still have a duty to provide for them. Yeah.
Exactly.
So there's that too, which is why it would be a quandary. Before it was no quandary. I would not kill someone to save myself.
Well, at some point, the quandary
okay
needs to be a no hesitation.
Right.
Because your wife and your children,
right,
they need you even if they're not in, you know, proximity.
Right.
And
so I have to figure that question out. And I guess while
the
my
answer to that question is yes.
Well, it is yes. But while my wife's parents are still alive and well, they can support her pretty well. So,
yeah, but it's not the same, though.
I know. But would I kill someone for that?
Yes.
I don't know if I would.
Okay, I don't know. I would.
I would. If there was somebody breaking into my house, threatening with lethal or near lethal force, absolutely.
Or
I would protect my family.
Yeah, or if it's just you're at a gas station. You're I don't know. You're at the grocery store, and you think your wife and your beautiful children, they want you to come home tonight. There's two guys. There's you and the guy that's threatening you. One of you is going to the hospital, maybe the morgue. One of you is going home. Which one is it going to be? It's going to be this guy right here.
I know, but that's the tough question.
Is it?
There's an easy answer, which is somebody's breaking into my house. They've probably got a gun.
Sure.
I'm going to kill them. No question.
Sure, but that
I wouldn't even feel. I would feel bad, but I wouldn't hesitate.
Yeah, but
think about it.
But by extension, the household isn't just the physical property that you own.
Right.
You're the paterfamilias. Your wife and your children don't need just I mean, in a sense, they need your the extended family stuff, but they need you.
Right.
And what's going to happen? I mean, let's say you've died now because some scumbag has decided to.
Some schmugbag
has decided to whatever, and now you're gone. You're in heaven, and that's good for you. But now they're on earth, and Daddy's not there anymore. And all you need to do is take out your pistol and shoot this son of a gun. I
would definitely take it out.
Yeah.
I would point it at them. And I don't know what my finger would actually do. That's what I'm saying.
I have heard a story where a pastor, and this was on Facebook, said that a friend of his was at a gas station, and he was accosted by some people, some guys, and all he did is he lifted up. He had his gun on his hip. He lifted up like his shirt or his jacket or something, and that was it.
What happened? Oh.
He was accosted by some guys at a
child. Who is it?
Hi. We're live on YouTube now.
Oh.
We're making a YouTube video
Sorry.
of our pipe club.
What's going on?
It's 9:00.
Okay.
Oh, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Bye.
And that's all he did. But what if it escalates?
Right.
Maybe it won't.
Hopefully it won't.
In my opinion, and I don't own a gun because I can't afford it, and also because I don't know that I'm responsible enough because I'm very forgetful to own a gun. But I would think that theoretically, your household isn't just the physical building or in the property. It's also wherever you are, because you are the paterfamilias, and your household needs you.
Mhm.
So if you're dead, grandma and grandpa is great, but that's not good enough. So if you're out on the street, maybe lifting your shirt up to show your hip holster with your 9mm or whatever you have,
38.
whatever, is enough to say, okay, never mind to that guy. But maybe he's drunk, maybe he's high, maybe he's just crazy, and you need to put that guy down. I think that's the right decision. My opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you, but
Yeah.
just saying it. That's not an easy call to make.
Yeah. Sure.
It's not an easy one.
Yeah.
So we gotta go.
Yeah. I guess in a little while.
Wrap up episode 1.
Episode 1 of Southern New England Pipe Club.
This is us signing off.